Good morning and thank you for joining us on this Thursday's edition of the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne and as always we're coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. This morning too we're ready to bring to you details of all the top stories from both here at home and around the world. Do stay tuned with us for the news in detail. Let's start off with news here at home as always. The Department of Post says it is prepared to take disciplinary action against postal workers who continue to stay away from duties as part of the ongoing strike. Postmaster General Ruan Satkumara says that the Ministry of Health and Mass Media has also been informed of the steps to be taken in this regard. Postal workers launched this strike, citing the cancellation of their approved leave as one of the key reasons. Convener of the Joint Postal Trade Union Alliance, Chintaka Bandara, says that the strike will not be called off until a proper solution is provided to their grievances. The strike is being carried out based on 19 demands, which include the payment of overtime allowances and the implementation of a fingerprint-based attendance system. Meanwhile, the Joint Postal Trade Union Alliance says a special discussion has been scheduled for today with leaders of trade unions from the state, semi-government and private sectors. Convener of the alliance, Chintaka Bandara, says that this decision was taken due to the government's continued silence regarding the ongoing trade union action by postal workers. He adds that the unions are now looking to launch a broader, unified program of action in the near future. Bandara also urges the government to intervene today itself and provide solutions to issues raised by the postal workers. On to more local news. The Joint Council for Professions Supplementary to Medicine, or JCPSM, has announced the commencement of an indefinite strike across all hospitals in the Western Provincial Council. General Secretary of the Council, Chanaka Dharmavikrama, says that the strike is set to begin at 8 a.m. today. The strike action has been launched in response to attempts by the Director of Western Provincial Health Services to implement the controversial and problematic transfer orders, according to the union. As a result of the strike, key services provided by supplementary medical professions, including radiological scans, CT scans, laboratory tests, and the issuance and distribution of medications, are expected to be disrupted. Meanwhile, the Northern Province phase of the Coastal Leisure Park Development Project under the Clean Sri Lanka initiative was officially launched yesterday. The project aims to transform approximately 43 coastal locations across 14 districts into enhanced coastal leisure parks, aligning with the Clean Sri Lanka concept. These developments will include small parks, scenic viewpoints and walking tracks, among other features. Now, as part of this initiative, development activities commenced yesterday at the Vellane Coastal Park in the Jaffna district under the theme From the Heart to Jaffna, with an allocation of 2.6 million rupees. In parallel, the President's Media Division announced that the program will also be implemented at 5 other coastal locations within the Northern Province. Now, this initiative is spearheaded by the Department of Coast Conservation and Coastal Resource Management in collaboration with the Ministry of Environment, the Urban Development Authority, local government bodies and universities, among other technical partners. Now, several legislative items are scheduled to be passed in Parliament today. Among them are the approval of proposals under Section 10 of the Customs Ordinance, regulations under the special provisions of the Excise Act No. 13 of 1989, orders under the Finance Act No. 35 of 2018, orders under the Construction Industry Development Act No. 33 of 2014. The Parliament is scheduled to convene at 9:30 a.m. today under the chairmanship of Speaker Dr. Jagat Vikramaratne. With that, let's move on to our weather forecast for today. The Met Department says that atmospheric conditions are getting favorable for evening thunder showers in the northern, north central, central, Uber and eastern provinces during the next few days. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the northern, north central, central, Uber and eastern provinces and in the Hambantota district after 1 p.m. And as always, the general public is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. Let's now move on to your international news for this morning. The Israeli military says it has begun the preliminary actions of a planned ground offensive to capture and occupy all of Gaza City and already has a hold on its outskirts. A military spokesman said troops were already operating in the Zaytun and Jabalia regions to lay the groundwork for the offensive, which Defense Minister Israel Katz approved on Tuesday and which will be put to the Security Cabinet later this week. About 60,000 reservists are being called up for the beginning of September to free up active duty personnel for the operation. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians in the Gaza City are expected to be ordered to evacuate and head to shelters in southern Gaza as preparations for Israel's takeover plan get underway. Many of Israel's allies have condemned its plan, with French President Emmanuel Macron warning on Wednesday that it can only lead to disaster for both parties and risks plunging the entire region into a cycle of permanent war. The International Committee of the Red Cross, or ICRC, meanwhile said further displacement and an intensification of hostilities risk worsening an already catastrophic situation for Gaza's 2.1 million population. Israel's government announced its intention to conquer the entire Gaza Strip after indirect talks with Hamas on a ceasefire and a hostage release deal broke down last month. Now, speaking at a televised briefing on Wednesday, Israel Defense Forces or IDF spokesperson Brigadier General Efi Defrin said Hamas was quote-unquote battered and bruised after 22 months of war. Mediators Qatar and Egypt are trying to secure a ceasefire deal and have presented a new proposal for a 60-day truce and the release of around half of the hostages, which Hamas has said it had accepted on Monday. Israel has not yet submitted a formal response, but Israeli officials insisted on Tuesday that they would no longer accept a partial deal and demanded a comprehensive one that would see all the hostages be released. Now, on Wednesday, Hamas accused Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of disregarding the mediator's ceasefire proposal and said he was the real obstructionist of any agreement. The Israeli military launched a campaign in Gaza in response to the Hamas-led attack on southern Israel on the 7th of October 2023, in which about 1,200 people were killed and 251 others were taken hostage. At least 62,122 people have been killed in Gaza since then, according to the territory's health ministry. With that, let's move on to your sports news for this morning. Well, in sports, it's tennis. Persistent rain wiped out almost the entire day of US Open qualifying as organizers cut their losses early. Only 14 of the 64 second-round qualifying matches were able to start on Wednesday before the decision to cancel play for the day was made about 4 p.m. local time. The weather will not affect the climax of the new-look mixed doubles, with the semi-finals and final protected by the roof on the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Rain is forecast for the rest of Wednesday before clearing up on Thursday. There is still plenty of time for the 3 rounds of the qualifying to be concluded, with the singles main draws starting on Sunday. The US Open is the final Grand Slam event of the 2025 season. Well, that brings to a close this morning's edition of the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne. Thank you for joining us this morning. Do join us tomorrow as well, same time, same place, for more of the very latest from from here at home and around the world. Take care. Have a wonderful day ahead.